From past few months, we are seeing about a war going between Russia and Ukraine all over the media. Today, we are going to discuss about why there is a war between Russia and Ukraine and what are the main reasons behind it. To know the main reason behind the war, we will have to take a look in history. Ukraine became an independent nation in the year 1991 with the collapse of the Soviet Union, also known as USSR. The disintegration of the Soviet Union took place under the leadership of Mikhail Gorbachev, which led to the creation of 15 independent nations. Almost 90% of the land of the Soviet Union falls under Russia, and Russia till today follows the rules of the former Soviet Union. It was all the history about Russia and Ukraine becoming an independent nation. But after all, why there is a war between Russia and Ukraine? The war between Russia and Ukraine began in 2014 after Russia annexed Crimea, a region of Ukraine, claiming it was historical part of Russia. This move was met with international condemnation and sanctions from the United States and the European Union. Since then, there have been sporadic outbreaks of fighting between Ukraine military forces and Russian-backed separatists in the eastern regions of Ukraine. Tensions have been high, with both the sides accusing the other of aggression and human rights abuses. Beginning in 2021, Russia built up a large military presence near its border with Ukraine, including from within neighboring Belarus. Russian officials repeatedly denied plans to attack Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin criticized the enlargement of NATO and demanded that Ukraine be barred from ever joining the military alliance. He also expressed irredentist views and questioned Ukraine's right to exist. On February 21, 2022, Russia recognized the DPR and LPR as independent states. 3 days later, Putin announced a special military operation in Ukraine during a television broadcast, marking the start of a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The invasion was internationally condemned. Many countries imposed sanctions against Russia and ramped up existing sanctions. Russia abandoned an attempt to take Kyiv in early April 2022 amid fierce resistance. From August, Ukraine military forces began recapturing territories in the northeast and south as a result of successful counter-offensives. In late September, Russia declared an annexation of 4 partially occupied regions in southern and eastern Ukraine, which was internationally unrecognized. The ongoing full-scale war has resulted in a major refugee crisis and tens of thousands of deaths. So, why we are discussing about it and how this war is going to impact the world? The economic impact of Russian invasion on Ukraine began in late February 2022, in the days after Ukraine recognized 2 breakaway Ukrainian republics and launched an invasion of Ukraine. The subsequent economic sanctions have targeted large parts of the Russian economy and the members of Russian government. Russia has responded with sanctions of its own. Both the conflicts and the sanctions have had a strongly negative impact on the world economy recovery during the COVID-19 recession. As a result of its war, estimates of a 30-year economic setback are projected for Russia. A wave of protests and strikes have occurred across Europe against the rise of bills and living expenses. Its major impact was seen over the Europe as sanctions on Russia stopped the supply of oil and gas, as majority of supplies in Europe comes from Russia. On the other hand, with the beginning of the war, Stock markets all over the world saw a major downfall, resulting into financial crisis and increase in the cost of living expenses. As none of the side is ready to set back, and the Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky is asking the world to support them in this war. If nations like USA and other nations start a war against Russia in support of Ukraine, there are high chances of starting a World War III or a nuclear war, as Russia and other nations like USA are nuclear power nations. As its dominance to maintain peace in world. All the nations are also looking towards India to make a settlement between both the nations and to ask Russia to stop the war. Still, India has not declared that on whose side they are now, but it has also tried to talk with both the sides, but none of them is ready to draw back. The world also wants to know that if a need to join the war arises, then on whose side India will stand. In reply of that, India has said that they do not want any war because a war always creates bad effects and destructions. But they have also mentioned that they support Russia as it has good allies and friendship with it. So, what are your opinion regarding this war? Tell us in the comment section and give your suggestions regarding any topic you want. Thanks for watching.